Hello YouTube. I got a box in the mail today. It contained 3 of these power supplies. These may look familiar to any of you who've seen Max Arcade's videos. Finally, Sansui350A here on YouTube actually pointed me to a lot of 3. There's also a lot of 8 of these going for like $60. I got a lot of 3 for $30, so that's $10 per supply. That's with free shipping too, so that's not bad at all. Max Arcade uses these for his builds. Let me get my knife here. Preferably not cut myself. So cut the tape here. I'll show you around this power supply, since I don't think he's... No, I think he might have gone through the connectors and stuff in his video. I can't remember. It's been a while since I've seen it. Now, let me get it out of this packaging here. Come here. Alright, here we are. There's that bracket, just like Max Arcade's had, that little thing on the side. Comes with a Nidec fan in it. Has no power switch on it, it's just an IC connector. And you'll notice it has no voltage selector switch, which means it's an active PFC power supply, which is pretty impressive for its age. These are AcBel power supplies that were used in Sun Java workstations back in the day. As you can see by the serial number down here. Once it focuses. Sun FRU. That's because it was in a Sun Java workstation. '05-41. So maybe that was the 41st week of 2005? I don't know. So these are 550-watt power supplies, and this is what you get. It's a pretty modern design. It doesn't have a -5 volt rail for ISA bus slots. But you can see you get 3 12-volt rails, one 5-volt rail, and a 3.3-volt rail. Actually, you get another 5-volt rail. Huh, that's interesting. And you get a -12 here. So, there you have it. These are very rugged power supplies, according to Max Arcade, and I definitely believe him, because he's used these in so many builds, it's ridiculous. So I thought I'd get my hands on these. The only disadvantage to a power supply like this is that you don't get a PCIe connector for graphics cards. So you could either adapt that with Molex. You could either use Molex to adapt that, or you could do what I think is a smart thing to do and tap into one of the I think graphics cards run off the 12-volt rail. I'm not sure. They probably do. But you tap into one of the 12-volt rails here. You take this apart. You solder in a connection to one of the 12-volt rails. Maybe share it with the CPU connector, the 8-pin CPU connector, and have yourself some PCIe connectors for the graphics card. So let me unravel these wires, and I'll show you what these power supplies actually have. Okay, I got all these wires unraveled. So here you have the 24-pin CPU connector. I should call it a 20+4, but it's not separated at all, so I technically can't. You get 2 SATAs on one wire. You get 2 Molex and a floppy connector there. And you get 3 more Molex connectors there. And you get you get 4 Molex connectors in a short row, and that's for that's because these Sun Java workstations had hard drive cages with the drives pretty close together, so they just used all 4 of those, and that was it. And of course you get an 8-pin CPU connector, which cannot be separated, so you have to either cut the plug, which I don't recommend doing because you'd just ruin the clip here, or get an adapter. I'm probably going to get an adapter just because that's a much less destructive way of doing it. And the adapter's probably like $5 anyway, so who cares? And there you have it. These are very nice. These are very heavy power supplies as well. You can see just the construction in here is incredible. Look at that choke right there. That's huge. Looks like it uses plugs instead of just being directly soldered in. I think we should open this up and take a look at it, since I've done it with every other power supply I own practically. Here is the inside of this power supply. This thing is a monster. There's one of the transformers. This is actually a heatsink. It looks like part of the heatsink. You can see all these capacitors here. They're all 105C rated. In fact, let me turn the light on. Yeah, you can see them a little bit better. The fan actually plugs in, and it's not just any kind of fan. It's a 3-pin connector fan. Usually they're 2-pin connector, so that's good to see. It's a double-decker circuit board design. There's the filter caps down there. Right in there. You can sort of see them. Yeah, there they are. Look at that. There's some heavy filtering there. This power supply is so dense and just full of components. It's absolutely insane. Look at that choke. Holy crap. This thing can definitely put out the 550 watts it's rated for. It's an industrial. This is an industrial commercial. This is a commercial grade power supply, and this is why usually you don't hear of companies like AcBel or Delta. They make industrial power supplies. This is an industrial. This is built to commercial standard because it was in a Sun Java workstation, and that's what makes these so special. I did notice that they use 4 diodes there instead of a bridge rectifier. That's a little bit weird. I guess the diodes are just built to standard. Who knows? That looks like the controller for maybe the fan. Yeah, probably for the fan. And some other things. Maybe it does more than that, but that's a look at the inside of these AcBel power supplies. What model is this? This is a this is an AcBel API4FS06 revision A3. So that's the model of these power supplies, and they are quite rugged. The only thing you need to do sometimes is you need to splice into connectors. For example, if I want to do the PCIe connector, I would just splice into this thing. I'd just splice into here and use the 12 volts off of that, and have at it. Maybe I could even splice into here. Who knows? I just have to figure out how to splice wires, and then I'm good to go. But I bought 3 of these, and one of them is going to be used in my file server down here, just because I have a Corsair CX430 in there, and that's a that's kind of a cheaply built consumer grade power supply, and I definitely would like commercial grade equipment in my server. So the other 2 I'm just going to leave in the other 2 I'll probably just stick in my stash somewhere, and then I'll probably end up using them later. Who knows? I'm going to modify at least one of them for use with a modern system. So there you go. This one, for the file server, I have 4 SATA devices in there, so I have 2 built in, and I can just use one adapter on a Molex connector for the other, and then it'll be all good to go. And it'll be commercial grade, and it'll be nice. So I just thought I'd show you what a commercial grade power supply looks like. It's freaking nice. So that's a tour of this AcBel power supply, and that's proof to you guys that these for how cheap these are, they're not shit. They're the real deal. So there you have it, folks. Have a good one, everybody. Ciao.